Another PvP down, and we see that Petit Drogo comes out victorious with a 2-0 versus Strange, which actually secures him a spot in fourth place in the group for the moment. There's one more day of matches to play, but we're gonna hop on a call with Petit Drogo, the man, the myth, the legend. How's it going,
Hello.
man? What the build orders and the kind of the attacks and the aggression he was throwing at you, pretty much what you expected?
Yes, Strange is not an unpredictable player, and I know that because I am also a predictable player. And funny thing is, the last 2 times we played in DreamHack, he actually won against me. With some tricks, always a little trick. And now, the fact that I win right now is pretty funny. I was pretty sure he was gonna all-in me, and I kind of knew the type of playstyle he was gonna play game 2. Like, he always kind of does the same thing. And I thought in my head that going RoboForge, which is not a viable opening, like, it's not. But against him, I thought he would be really good to not lose the game stupidly. And it did, so yeah.
Well, definitely worked out, and again, congratulations on an important victory for your standings in the group and stuff. Now, I know back in June you kind of announced you wouldn't be full-time into StarCraft anymore, but you're still doing pretty well for yourself. Do you feel like you're just still in good form? Is this a boost from like not having the pressure of being full-time in StarCraft? What do you kind of credit it to?
I am definitely a lot worse right now than I used to be. My StarCraft is kind of like riding a bike, you know, in some aspects, but it's in some other aspects, like it's very hard to go back to like a very good level. Like I'm still pretty good. Like honestly, I'm still pretty good, but I don't know. I just kind of got dumpstered on by the top 3 of the group, and I felt like I could have done some things better, but also a lot of the time it was just, oh, like just my mechanics aren't here or whatever. And yes, it is. I am not in good shape right now, but I'm still, I am Protoss, you know, so I can always try my best to win against the very best player in the world. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. And I guess for those who have been kind of wanting or a big fan of you and everything, what are you kind of up to? Like, how much time are you actually practicing in StarCraft versus like what other stuff are you interested in?
I have reinstalled the game, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe more. Yeah. And I played some ladder, and when I played again, I literally was 6k MMR. Like I could not go above that, which was very scary. I almost didn't qualify, but then now I'm like a solid 6k free, which is like not great, but still a little bit better. As far as what I've been doing, the honest answer is not much, man. Like I don't know about you, but I don't know much of anything. I'm still trying to figure out what's up with life and a lot of kind of things. It's very hard to answer that question without getting a little bit too... I can't fit up an adjective right now to describe how pointless all of this is, but I'm trying my best, and my goal is to be able to one day play a lot of like StarCraft or Stormgate again, because before that, the reason I stopped was because it was getting a little bit too much to me. Like I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, which at some point I woke up and I was like, hey, this is not, I don't have to do this, you know? Like I know I've been doing this for like 10 years, but I can press the stop button at any point. Which I did, and it had some good effects, but I'm still trying to figure stuff out. But as soon as I do figure out the point of life, I will let you know, Fairy Dragon.
All right, well, you know, I'm actually super happy to hear that you're able to try and take that kind of endeavor and find a bit of happiness again and all this stuff. And, you know, hopefully you also find a little bit of happiness in how well you're at least doing in today's matches and stuff, and you'll continue to feel a little happier tomorrow. But do you want to do any final shout-outs or anything before we let you go?
Thank you to Shutdown for helping me out with this match. I was gonna do some really dumb shit before he smacked some sense into me. And yeah, that's it really as far as for the shout-outs. Shout out to you, the viewers at home. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm out of it because I didn't know my match was today. I thought it was tomorrow. I partied until 9 AM. I woke up 4 hours later and I was, shit, my match is today. I can't believe I won this, man. I am so out of it.
I stand
That's
ready.
incredible, man. Well, I feel like you found the secret to not you need to return to StarCraft.
Yeah, I
Our
found the
warriors
secret,
have
man. Just a
engaged the
drunken
enemy.
master. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, that's it.
All right, well, I'll let you go rest up after
Same.
that hangover. Congratulations and cheers, man.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Well, Wardy, like,
At last,
has
we
the
shall
secret
find
like
revenge.
found in himself like the
Revenge.
inner Stefano, and like this is actually
Quickly.
the secret to not only
Your
StarCraft
blood
but
is
also
mine.
happiness?
I'll give it a shot.
And he's just found the story, man. Like he was all in
blades
one now.
thirst.
Just like, so how do you feel about Winnie's like? Well, first I had
We
to
must act.
Right, open a few doors.
Run
but
for
he's-
your life.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Just he's
The
chilling,
time
he's having a
has
good
come.
time. Doesn't matter if he doesn't sleep well, parties hard. He'll just play good StarCraft apparently because. Yeah, I
We
mean,
must
like you said, when it
act.
opened up, it just went well, right? It just went as planned, which was just to win and obviously to win easily. And yeah, I really do think it was a series which couldn't have really gone much better for him. Like from the start, Strange misclicking on the first attack, and from now on out, it didn't look like Strange had a chance in game 1 or 2.
May not be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quickly.
And Nate, it feels
The
like
time has
there's a
come.
real good possibility that
Anudor,
Drogo is now
Anudor.
going to be able to make the playoffs, as he does
My
still have that one
blades
match
thirst.
versus Rattata
Quickly.
or Vanya, whichever name you guys end up
Our
preferring,
warriors have engaged the
tomorrow,
enemy.
and that is
Treat
possibly
them
going to
well.
be like one of the
Command
big
me.
deciding matches to see
On
who's
your
going to
mark.
advance out.
Point the way.
The time has come. My blades thirst. Veronica.
Triet may not be there.
We must act.
Yeah. Sounds like we may have had you muted there for a
warriors have
moment, Nate,
engaged
so
the
we'll
enemy.
hopefully get that resolved. But I wholeheartedly agree with the idea of what you were saying. It is going to be definitely be an important match, and hopefully be able to hear more thoughts on that later. But really quickly, while Nate gets that resolved, let's actually quickly talk about our next series, because I think we've actually covered a good amount of Group C and everything today. Let's head over to our final match of Europe for
We
the
must
day.
act.
This is going to be from Group B. It is DNS
Though I be
versus
damned.
Orjumi. Wardy, break this one down for me. These are two players that are kind of fighting for their
time has
lives in the
come.
group right now.
My
Fighting
blades
for their lives in the group,
thirst.
one which I feel like both of them look at as winnable
Command
DNS.
me.
To me, it
At
has always
last.
been stronger than
I stand
Fujumi,
ready.
but it's fair to say Fujumi has been doing better and
We must
better as well
act.
recently, so yeah, I honestly don't know what to tell you in terms of what to expect, apart from sometimes Fujumi does play
Command
very,
me.
very, very aggressively if he
Anudor,
feels like he
Anudor.
can,
At
or if he feels like
last.
he needs to. But which right, you
Though I
know,
be damned.
DNS turns out to be a bit too strong for him.
Veronica.
Maybe Fujumi will just go a little
Quickly.
bit wild, so...
The time has
Yeah.
come.
And hi, Nate. I hear you. I always do.
I don't know. You guys can
My
hear me.
blades
I
thirst.
Yeah.
think it's
I think we're
okay.
good.
Yeah. There's there's been a bunch of
time
moles
has
digging around in the
come.
ground, and I think they hit one of
My
my audio
blades
cables.
thirst.
I live a little bit closer to nature, so just had to go out
Quickly.
there, hit one with a mallet. I didn't really
We
mean
must
to get
act.
violent, but gotta protect
None
my.
shall
Gotta protect
survive.
my sorry about that. All I said was, what a legendary interview. That was amazing. That was fantastic.
Command me.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I'm glad you're able to
Upgrade
whack these spooky moles that are in your
Quickly.
background. I don't know if we addressed your background.
Trust me. I
Anudor,
worry, man.
Anudor.
As October
At
progresses
last.
forward, there's been fog out there every morning. I look. It's like I see
The
people
time has
standing
come.
there calling me over,
We
but
must act.
I'm not really
warriors
interested in
have
that. I gotta work.
blades
I gotta commentate
thirst.
some games. So sorry about that.
Well,
We
no
must
worries,
act.
man. I know that we are all ready to watch some games, so Nate, we'll
My
get your thoughts
blades
during the
thirst.
games, because we all know that PvP nothing usually happens
Veronica.
in the first 4 so minutes anyways. So
Veronica.
we'll let you talk about it in your thoughts. Then let us know your thoughts in the
The
Twitch
time
chat
has
using
come.
#4 if you think you're for Orjumi winning this series, or #DNS if you feel like his internet is just better than everyone else's. Yeah, when you're voting for DNS. We'll see you guys after the
Quickly.
break.
Though I be damned. At last.
Insufficient gold. Insufficient gold.
Command me. My blades thirst. Anudor, Anudor. We must act. At last. Veronica. time has come.
Shall be done.
Quickly,
I will not be trifled with. Our will
we must act. Anudor, Anudor.
strength.
Though I be damned, command me.
I will not be trifled.
Quickly, though I be damned.
Your building is complete.
My blades thirst. Duronic
Research
Ha.
finished.
The time has come. Anudor, Anudor.
By your command.
The time has come. Command me. My blades thirst. Quickly. We must act. My blades thirst.
Your building is complete.
Quickly. Command me. At last. At last. Duronic Ha. The time has come.
Your building is complete. Our warriors have engaged.
We must act. The time has come. Though I be damned. Anudor, Anudor. We must act.
Ah, the great outdoors. Your building is complete.
Command me.
Upgrade finished.
Quickly.
Your lumber is done.
My blades thirst. Command me. We must act. My blades thirst. Duronic Ha. Anudor, quickly. The time has come. Your blood is mine. The time has come. Command me. At last.
More lumber is required. More lumber is required.
My blades thirst. Quickly. Though I be
Welcome back,
damned.
ladies and gentlemen, to the
Though I be
DreamHack
damned.
Master StarCraft 2. I'm
The time
Nathanius,
has come.
and joining me is Morty. I
We
was
must
pretty
act.
terrified the whole entire time you were going to start talking
I'm
again.
awake.
You,
Quickly.
Right? Like, the countdown is
for
getting
your
too
life.
close to 0, and John's just like,
My
hey, like, you
blades
can take your
thirst.
date. And I was like, fine, I'm like, am I getting set up again? I'm terrifying. But it's okay. Good to be here.
Quickly.
We're not in a rush.
The time has come.
Of course, that's kind of a nice thing to have been chilled.
My blades
Literally,
thirst.
I'm not going to complain about
Duronic
that.
Ha.
And some more PvP, which it's what everybody wants. I heard
Anudor,
people
Anudor.
said that they were going to leave if we didn't bring more
Command me.
PvP, and that's why
We
we
must
got more.
act.
So we got your
At
back.
last.
In the bottom left,
Anudor,
from
Anudor.
inside and out, we have the red
Duronic
player.
Ha.
He is Forjumi.
Quickly. Command me. My blades
Right hand
thirst.
side, our blue Protoss
At
player.
last.
Yes.
The time has come. Though I be damned. We must
Are
act.
we being invaded? Is there trouble? The hunt is on.
Fun day of games, huh?
Aim
Fun day of
death
games, huh,
sentence.
Wardy?
Gladly. For the
Yeah,
truth.
man. Today's
Where
been.
shall I strike?
The time
Where
has
shall I
I
come.
feel like
The sleep
At
like a
last.
little bit
Duronic Ha.
so far.
Anudor,
However,
Anudor.
this is one of the PvPs. You know, you get those PvPs like the last one was
Quickly.
kind of quick one way or the other. This is a PvP I look at and I'm like, oh god, like this could actually take forever because DNS is happy to play long games. We've seen Forjumi play long games.
We must act.
To me, this is something that could
My
happen in this
blades
PvP absolutely.
thirst.
So that's not a bad thing.
Command me.
Just we'll look forward to perhaps.
I'm awake.
Yeah, yeah. And to be fair, the PvPs have all been pretty neat sitting out on their own. I do gotta give a
The
low-key
time
shout out
has
because we were
come.
talking about it during
Though
that
I be
break. as
damned.
I'm sure if
Though
you're,
I be
if you're
damned.
watching through
Our
the
time is
through the
short.
ads, you got to see that King Cobra game
We
against
must
Daryl.
act.
Just kind of ridiculous. He
My
really is
blades
great at
thirst.
that analogy, like just
Command
dragging
me.
somebody down to your
None
level and
shall
beating them with
survive.
experience. I don't think he
We
gets
must
the map
act.
against him, but I was very impressed that he had gotten the game past the 15-minute mark. Certainly an
The
achievement
time
on its
has
own.
come.
You know, it's just funny because it's like we're in one break and it's like
Quickly.
there's cameras on the screen and we have this wild interview with Drogo.
My
We love
ladies
it. So we
first.
come back and it's just like, what the 15-minute game? Like, it's like we missed all the bits in between. It's just like both parts were absolutely
We must
technical
act.
to watch. So very fun.
It's got the
My
Stargate
blades
out somewhere it won't be scoutable
Command
by
me.
this probe that is now trapped inside
The time
of
has
Mortoni's
come.
base. But
Quickly.
and what a legendary interview. by
The
way,
time has
discussing it.
come.
Just like, I didn't know I actually had this match.
My blades first.
Till 3 in the morning, partying, and then the sun came up, and I got a text message from
Quickly.
Sinestro like, bro, your match is up. So I guess this is
We
it.
must act. Quickly. We must
You know,
act.
it was just a fun kind of weird interview to begin with. And then at the end, it's like, you know what? I guess we're just playing well.
The time has come. Anador Amber.
He's always been such a funny guy. It's cool to see
My
him
blades
kind of go
first.
from that, being very intense, very about the competition, really serious, angry kind of guy. Now he's just funny. I love it. I love it. We have
time has
Stargate
come.
finishing up as well
My
for
blades
DNS, though.
first.
I mean, the Phoenix could end up revealing itself at some
Quickly.
point, but it's not like. Well, I don't really know. He is going to go Oracle first, so maybe the Phoenix will be able to catch it. Maybe that's the edge Jumi is looking for. He does have Stalkers in his main to deal with an Oracle, however, and I mean he's also locked inside of his base. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I kind of like the Oracle opening. You know, it's one of those things which, in the past, I feel like we always would have been like, oh, the Phoenix, but nowadays an Oracle really can still dive in and do a lot. And it can obviously just, you know, it's only bad if the Phoenix catches it like straight away. And right now, you're going to pull units down to the low ground because of the storms that they get, putting on some pressure. So the combination makes this Oracle kind of good even against the Phoenix. You're going to deep power, Warp Gate, and 2 gateways. That is really bad.
At last,
Yes, makes
we
me
shall
up
have
with these Stalkers, but
revenge.
now the Phoenix show up. The Oracle maybe stays towards the main. There is a battery there, so one Oracle doesn't make too much of a difference. But obviously,
He can't build a battery in the natural because the pylon you mentioned, that was a huge pickoff, Wardy.
Yeah, actually, the Stalkers are going to continue doing a lot here. As the Oracle, instead of his battery in the main base drained, and now he just recall away, and the next pylon goes down.
Another
There's no
one.
Warp Gate. Oh,
No warp gate for you. Keep building those Phoenix for Jumi. There's not anything else that he can do right now. And I was wondering when we're gonna see more units come up for DNS. And he's just like, I can do this all day. As long as the Stalkers are hung in the cybernetics core. Wow. Game 1. That's well,
Okay.
you know what? I have the spin.
Here goes the spin.
Another PvP that definitely is not like the others we've seen
building
in
is
this
complete.
week's games.
You know,
Our
Certainly another
warriors have
unique one.
engaged the
I just
enemy.
love what
Building
Jumi's handled there as well. You can see on his face as each pylon dies, like, huh, it's really gonna be like this, huh? He's like, I'm not believing it. I won't stand for it. I won't let this. No, it's happening. No, it's definitely still happening. It's like I actually just can't recover from this. Kind of
Our
like
warriors
that's
have
a little bit
engaged.
of realization. It's not my bad day. So I was like, you know, this could be a long series, 4.5-minute game. I love it.
Yeah. So that's just one of those things. I don't know. I'm not even sure. What is this? We'll just
open.
yeah, exactly. Maybe you try to build 3 pylons at once, and then you still don't have enough units, so it doesn't really matter because you spend all your money on pylons. But whatever. Okay, we're going to Waterfall, and we can.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Have a better game.
Yes. Your words, not mine.
I mean, there's only so much fun you can have when 4 stalkers walk across the map and kill the man's pylon.
It's Saturday. We're having fun. We're playing some games. And this guy in the top right, he's
Our
for
warriors
Jumi.
have engaged the enemy.
That's Berserker Esports.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Yeah, awesome team, by the way. It's really
Research finished.
fun team. Good players in there. A fun group of players. In the bottom left, currently team left he was on route, but he decided to leave. He's not announced the team yet. It is yet.
Your building is complete. Research finished.
DNS always a very nice guy to talk to as well, and get to chat with. He's always very excited playing events as well. DNS is one of these low-key like grinders. I feel like he doesn't like play so much that like it's like crazy, but like every time he gets a chance to play in an event, he's always like, oh man, yeah, I'd love to play. And also, that was very cool about DNS.
He's
Our
one of those
warriors
players
have
that if
engaged.
you've been following professional Warcraft for any
Sacred
length of
grove is being
time, you see
desecrated.
him everywhere. And he's constantly working on his craft. He's competing in all the online qualifiers. He's competing, you're seeing him in the weeklies, and even in tournaments like this. He's still up there given what for in these group stages. Hasn't had as many of those big breakouts for someone that's been playing as long as he has.
Our sacred
But
grove
still,
is
his
being
consistency
desecrated.
is something to be admired. And he is here competing with the best of the best. And, well, it has not been an easy time, of course. These groups in Europe in general, very, very competitive. And he's on that bubble, right? Fifth place. Shadone just a little bit ahead of him, but not too many matches left. A 2-0 here would be nice. He is going to play Shadone tomorrow. So, assuming that he wins this match, if he's able to do that, particularly with a 2-0, then that series kind of just decides it for him. And he might be able to take that step into the playoffs. Definitely gonna need him to start winning.
Yeah, absolutely. These players in this all these brutal players really making a scrap for it. And of course, like you say, these two are kind of worse for wear when it comes to everyone, but one of them gets that guaranteed win, and then I mean, when you look ahead to tomorrow, DNS plays Shadowne. That's a very winnable match for him. Not easy, but winnable. And for Fujumi plays Bly, who's the one player below him in the group, so it could completely turn the group around, but you really have to win this one and that one tomorrow. There's no way that just winning tomorrow after losing the day is going to do it for you, I don't think.
Yeah. So lots of opportunities still available, and DNS gets the Adept inside of the main base. So trying to see, is there anything funky? Is there anything I need to have my eye on? Get a couple of probes. That is definitely nice. This is going to put him ahead just a little smidge. And that Zealot for Fujumi that tried to take down the pylon of DNS, well, it fails to do so. Just kind of gets through the shields. And then we see the Oracle boot up. Well, I mean, he's already got an Oracle, but he's got another Oracle coming up.
Yeah, this one tries to get in, but will not do too well. The Stalkers deflect straight away. Just going to be seeing the Twilight Council building on both sides. Naxx is coming through. Yeah, just waiting for the Oracles. I mean, two together can be dangerous, and DNS already has the lead, so I love this for DNS, because it does feel as though he's the one with all the kind of the driver's seat in this game so far.
Yeah, Stalker comes up, takes one shot at the pylon up the ramp. Okay, a mild rush of anxiety kind of rushes through there. And like you said, two Oracles together, you can actually damage through the shield battery. Now the Stalkers are in the natural and the main. They're split up for Fujumi. He knows what he needs to do here. The Zealot Stalker come up the ramp to try and distract, and that's going to open it up for 4 probes to get picked off. Does kill one of the Oracles, however, so that definitely hurts for DNS. That he's killed a decent amount of workers across this game, Wardy. He's gotten 9 to just 1. So he's making a little bit more money. That can translate into him being able to produce more Stalkers and eventually overwhelming his opponent, because we're going to Blink versus Blink. It's a little old school PvP.
It is going to be a bit of that old school PvP, isn't it? So Blink's on the way on both sides. And I mean, I kind of love it, man. It's just, Fujumi, I feel like almost needs to be kind of active, right? With his few Stalkers already and trying to make something happen. I know that's scary when there's Oracles on the map, but now at least there's only one Oracle. So maybe now would be your chance. Otherwise, I mean, okay, I like this, for example, taking the faster third, just doing something to improve your position, because otherwise he was not the one in the better position here. So yeah, he's still 6 workers behind. The faster third might help offset that, but he's also got to be careful of the timing potential that DNS holds.
Yes, exactly. There's still going to be that possible pressure. And that's the other side of the Oracle opening in general. Just being able to constantly threaten that at any moment when you want to bring everything to defend. If those Stalkers roll up on the third base, or if they're trying to poke the natural, you want to send everything. You want to use all of your units. It's a very natural way to feel. But boom, then the Oracle comes in, gets a stasis trap, 8 probes are locked up, and you're suddenly warping in 3 Stalkers, your opponent is warping in 6, and you die. So these are all of the little ways that these small interactions can add up over time. And well, the third base coming through does give a nice tell for a macro game. But one of the probably my favorite thing about Waterfall is that you have bases that are easy to defend, but the map itself is small enough and open enough that you can still be really aggressive and you can still get across very quickly. It's a really great balance between, yeah, it's not too hard to take the base, but also you can get really, really feisty.
Yeah. I actually been loving Waterfall. I know as a Terran, I might be a bit biased as well, but
Yeah, it's absolutely cracked for Terran. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
it's cracked for Terran, but it's very fun in these other matchups.
Don't ask me why I know this, Wardy, but that high ground third, you can fit like 5 planetary fortresses on that at the same time. All right.
Ooh,
That's a little industry
naughty,
secret. Yeah, very naughty.
I didn't realize it was that kind of Saturday night. Stalker is going to get rid of a couple of these sentries as they back it up a little bit now and just not actually going to get rid of that other one. It's having a bit of a rough time actually pursuing that, but I thought DNS might be able to get a bit more done. The numbers are still just falling apart for Jumi. DNS looking great with his own third up.
Not getting into a fight by the river. Some beautiful scenery as we're seeing those blinks back and forth. And, you know, for Jumi, he's the one making the investment of that +1 attack. So a little bit of money up front that comes out of his production. So he wants to rely on the shield battery to give him the defense so he can get the lead that will allow him to take better trades down the line. But DNS now has his +1 booting, so won't be too far behind, and then moving into charge. And just Zealot Stalker versus Zealot Stalker gets really weird because then we get into like granular charge lot micro, which is not an easy thing to do when you're also trying to do blinks. Oftentimes one of the players is going into like disruptors or whatever, but for a long stretch, about is it multiple years now that it's been since it was just charge lot of Mortal Archon versus charge lot of Mortal Archon? I can't remember because of the Void Ray era, but we're kind of headed back to that, Wardy.
Yeah, it's kind of all coming back, right? As it's been very, very popular lately. I feel like there was a little while where people were like, no, let's just stick with just Stalkers for a while, but just getting into that charge and everything. And this again, just DNS showing the kind of power that he has, right? Just army supply lead, worker lead, and just gets in there. And it's just so annoying for Jumi because he's already behind, and now he's the one that's kind of forced to stay behind.
Yeah, and he still has to keep units split apart for the Oracle, so that's not something that will ever change. And DNS looks like he wants to start. He like hovered it, but didn't. He canceled it at the last second. There it is. So he starts up a cannon, and I was wondering, he's thinking about what things could cost him the nice position that he's in. And he gets a cannon as well in his natural. So he's thinking about Dark Templar. He wants to take that 4th base and just do the economic powerhouse version of this build. Since he's not going to be up against disruptors, he's just like, I'll out macro you, build more units, and kill you. And that's not a bad way to take it.
I love it, man. Like, I think what he's doing is perfect, right? Because one of the ways you lose is attacking too heavily into like a super battery or something and losing your advantage this way. He can't get overrun himself because his army was already so strong. So if you can't get overrun yourself, why not just take the extra base, take the extra economy, bank that, and just go from there? Like, it just feels like you're minimizing the ways to lose the game. So, the only thing I think I wouldn't like right now for DNS would be if Jumi was going into like a ton of disruptors and then maybe he gets those out and can do something with it, but that's not really the case. We can see that. This is just one of those moments where I'm not quite sure if DNS really needs to be trying to fight, but I guess there's nothing wrong with holding the low ground if you're losing a couple zealots.
I'm with you, though. I think there's a degree of impatience here. DNS feels like I'm in the position where I should be able to just bowl you over, but Jumi did something very smart because he's recognized what DNS's strategy is, just kind of mass stalker with some charge lots. He's got 3 Immortals, and he's got a couple Archons. Those are both fantastic against everything that DNS is building. So Jumi is taking the strategical angle because, mechanically this has worked out a little bit against him, but that's okay, and it can work. It's just going to require DNS to go in at the moment when he thinks he has enough to win in one straight up fight, but doesn't, and that's kind of where that impatience comes into play. So he takes another big blink forward, is going to grab one of the Immortals, but the Immortals for Jumi need to be targeting down the Stalkers across the Zealots. It's another big part of it. He blinks his units up. There is the shield battery overcharge, and it allows him to live to fight another day. 3 of the Immortals are still standing. Most of the Zealots for DNS were built. He doesn't get this round as he has the prism here. But by the way, another cute thing just to point out, he's been building the stasis traps under the prism so that if he tried to blink or come in from the side, he would not be able to get it. And, I mean, for Jumi's army is really not, it's not quite as big, but I mean, he's up in army supply because of the technical side of the units. He's got those hefty immortals, but the stasis trap might be his downfall. It gets all but 2 of these immortals, but locking up 2 of them is huge.
It really, really is. I mean, one of the Archons as well. I was actually really worried about these Archons being able to just keep clearing out the Zealots so easily, but this was huge because now you get rid of some of the Archons because of it. You're going to get rid of some of these units from the low ground as well. The stasis ward, just absolutely massive. We might not win the game right now. Against the Prism, it lifted up into the Archon or Immortal. There was something that just jumped back into it just before it died. And this is obviously future DNS. He's just dismantled every advantage that poor Jumi might have had, which was just in the tech unit.
Could not agree more. I think DNS was trying his hardest to overextend in this game as much as he could, and then the stasis trap he just caught everything. And you catch half the most powerful units your opponent has. He's like, yes, I will blink directly onto you. And DNS comes up with a pretty clean and concise 2-0. This is the level of play we expect out of him. He's one of those guys that is not someone you're going to ever easily beat, even if you're not seeing him win the tournaments. He's one of those barometer checks, like you are not at the level where you can compete here until you can beat him, and that's why. Just a fantastic series.
Yeah, man, DNS popping off right here. A really important match, it really, really is. Puts him at 3-3, the 2-0, gives him a map score advantage over Shadowne as well. And he plays Shadowne tomorrow, so I guess that actually doesn't matter because one of them will go 4-3, the other one will drop down. So it kind of is just DNS Shadowne, and basically a play-in match tomorrow to see who makes playoffs. Unless, yeah, no, I mean, one of them's going to be 3-4, and then, yeah, the Hound, basically. Wow, that's actually going to be wild. Absolutely bonkers, Nate.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The only thing crazier than that are the puns dropped by the man I'm about to summon as we bring Fear Dragon back to wrap up. Here you are.
Well, thank you, Nate. That was certainly an interesting series. I think a little unfortunate with game number 1, but game number 2, definitely, I think DNS showing some cool plays there, Wardy. As that is actually going to be, like we were talking about before, a pretty important match there, and now we kind of have a much better idea of how Group B is going to be.
So shall it be.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. It's just straight up Shadowne and DNS now fighting for that playoff spot. That makes tomorrow's match super exciting, and yeah, both players who would just love to poke into those playoffs, right? And you can see it there. As DNS doesn't map score advantage, doesn't matter actually, because obviously just head-to-head to decide it, and then yeah, that's going to be how it all goes down. So that Group B looking super fun. But so is Group A. I mean, you got 4 players, 2 and 4 going into the final play day. Man, it has the map score advantage, but that doesn't mean anything. We're going to see wild things in general across Groups A and B.
Have one on the
Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree more. And we also have some pretty fun matches getting reared up for tomorrow, even in Group A. Not even necessarily the ones that are going to decide the group standings, but things like Hero Marine versus Lambo also going to be happening tomorrow. But Nate, as we head over and just recap Group C and D, since, you know, we didn't actually cover any Group A matches today, but Group C and D we did cover a decent bit of any kind of big surprises as you see how everything is shaken out over here. I think there's definitely one thing that's pretty obviously happening in Group C that a lot of people wouldn't have expected.
Insufficient
Yeah,
gold.
like Group C has been an absolute blast to watch, and there's still a couple of very important matches. Even though almost every spot in this group is decided, Drogo and Strange, there is still an opportunity for a little flippity flop there. But tomorrow we're going to get to see the 2 top players in this group that are undefeated go up against each other. So Rainer and a Laser, even though they're guaranteed top 2, that head-to-head is going to end up deciding which one of them goes out in first place. Drogo has to play Ratata, Strange has to play Young Yakov. So both matchups that they can win, but they'll also, right, you know, one mistake will cost them their spot in the playoffs. So that to me just has Group C. You got to come back tomorrow and see how this one ends. Even though we know who's going where, for the most part, you just got absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun to see, and remember that getting first in the group means you can avoid potential matches like facing off versus, I don't know, like a Serral or something. So it is definitely a massive advantage to be able to lock down that first place spot. But that is going to be it for all of our matches for Europe for the day. So we are not done with the show just yet. There's actually a lot of fun North American matches happening, as
as we still have 2 days left of the group stages. Today is going to be that second to last day for North America. We are going to be heading to a slightly longer break as we wait for the players to get ready for their appropriate time to actually play out their matches, but we are going to be covering 4 additional North American series. So DreamHack SB2 Masters is not done just yet for the day. Hopefully you'll stick around for after the break as we head back into North America.
There it is.
DreamHack StarCraft 2 Masters is brought to you in part by Monster Energy.
By the spirit. For Kalimdor. Another round? You seem a little parched.
The great outdoors. Insufficient gold.
Is there danger? You seem a little parched. Have one on the house. Threatens the wilds. Well, there it is. Another round?
Making
Nature is restless. Is trouble brewing?
Our warriors
Name your
have
poison.
engaged the enemy.
Name your poison.
Research finished.
You see, it is large. For Kalimdor, by the spirit. Is trouble brewing? I'll give it a shot. Is there danger? Command me. Nature is restless. Another round? Nature is restless. Well, there is trouble brewing. I'll put it on your tab. Threatens the wild. You see, is there danger? Oh, that time is now. I'll give it a shot. Command. Name your poison. Nature is restless. Another
When
round?
nature's call. I'm game.
Is trouble brewing?
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
You see, nature's nature's wrath. Shall I strike? Another round. Name your poison.
Hi.
So shall it be. Time is now.
Research. Our warriors have
Name
engaged
your
the
poison.
enemy.
Is trouble brewing? Spirits. So shall it be. Is there danger? Naturally. Nature is restless. I bring pandemonium! Commander,
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
for Kalimdor.
Is there trouble?
Another round? I bring this
Upgrade finished.
Another round? The time. Name your poison. I'll put it on
Inventory
your
is full.
Our time is short. You see, a little harsh. Well, is trouble brewing? Have one on the house.
On your mark.
Command me.
Hi.
Point the way.
What is nature's call? I'm game. For the trees.
Command me. The time is now.
Research finished.
Naturally. Nature is restless. Death. Name your poison. For Kalimdor.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
The time
Your
is
building
now.
is complete.
You see, hard threatens the wilds. Well, there it is. Is trouble brewing? Another round? You see, hard.
Research finished.
Oh, lad. Another round. Is trouble brewing? Have one on the house. Name your poison. I'll give it a shot. You see, a little hard. Oh,
Your
lad.
master.
Another round? Is trouble brewing? I'll put it on your tab. Have one on the house. Command
Are we being invaded?
the time. Name your poison. You see, a little hard. Our time is gone. Is trouble brewing? Name your poison. Another round. Another round. Is trouble brewing? Oh, that strength is yours.
Research
Name your
finished.
poison. Threatens the wilds. You seem a little hard. I'll give it a shot. Command me.
Your master.
Name your poison. The time is now. The sleeper has awakened. My strength is yours once. Anudora. The time is now. Death to all fire. Naturally. Another round.
Research finished. What is nature's call?
East
Are we
Rubber
being
Louis.
invaded?
Nature is restless. You see
Research
the
finished.
rivers wild. Name your poison.
Insufficient gold.
Another round. You seem a little
Command
harsh. Another
Is
round.
there danger?
Have one on the house.
Threatens the wilds. Well, there it is.
East Rubber Louis.
Restless. By the spirits.
Insufficient gold. Insufficient gold.
The time is now.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy. What is nature's call?
Name your poison. Oh, that I'll put it Name your poison. Louis.
What is nature's
Have one on the house. I'll give it a shot. Have one on the house. Name your poison. East Rubber Louis. Another round. That East Rubber Louis. Our time control. I'll put it on you.
Our warriors have engaged and we can't kill them.
Name your poison. Now you're in danger. Another round. Another round. Have one on the
Our
house.
warriors have engaged the enemy.
East Louis. Name your poison. Another round. I'll give it a shot. I'll put it on you. Have one on the house. I'll give it a shot. Oh, that. My strength is yours. My bandage is restless. Louis. You seem a little harsh. Name your poison. Louis. That. You say danger. So shall it be. Who threatens the wild? Ready to go, job done.
Ready for action.
Job done.
Ready for action.
Locked and loaded. Job done. Locked and loaded. Research complete. Locked and loaded. Ready to work. Ready to work. Job done. Research. Our forces are under attack. Job done. Research complete.
DreamHack StarCraft 2 Masters is brought to you in part by Monster Energy and U.S. Air Force.
I don't have a target.
We are back after a bit of a break, and we are ready to jump into North America. And of course, we decided to bring on an all NA cast to start things off. Nate, what did you do during the break?
I went and did a Mega Gyarados raid outside, walked my dog. I got, I think I got maybe like 500 steps. Probably not really as much as I was looking for, but enjoyed a nice bit of sunshine, and I'm very excited. Glad to point out the NA part of the cast, especially since, we just kicked off all the Europeans that were here commentating DreamHack Europe a half hour ago.
Well, let's be fair. Wardy's no longer European as of a few years ago. But Zombie Grub, did you do anything as healthy as Nathanius going for a nice walk or anything?
I did actually. I went for
That ability isn't ready yet.
Is this like Boy Poodle was like one
I can't do that. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I need to get closer. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
I was last born. It was very Hollywood. No.
I can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. I'm out of range. Not ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
Big thank you to them.
It's too far away. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Nate, I believe.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range. That's still recharging. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
We're gonna get to see him play
I am the greatest of my father's sons! That's still the choice. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still the choice. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still the choice. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. How can it be? Flash is not stronger!
Season as the content king, you know, getting in those interviews and being kind of a funny guy and actually delivering, which, you know, sometimes what happens. Sometimes you get those interview guys that are don't do so well in
That spell isn't ready. That ability isn't ready. I can't do that. I can't cast it. Not ready. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Any big favorites that you're looking forward to on this one?
That's still recharging. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. Not ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. I don't have a target. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't do that yet. Not ready. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. The master was right. To be concerned.
Right? So it kind of feels like it is really the new blood versus the old blood, even though again we're talking about people who have been playing StarCraft for 6 to 12 years. That's what we do in this esport.
That's entirely true. And Nate, this is also going to be an important match for the groups because as we keep talking about, it's second to last stage.
That's still recharging. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Let's just put down on this match and says that that's where he's going to be. So, yeah, for all the reasons that you mentioned, like we were saying before, it makes this one pretty interesting.
I think this is going to be a fun ZVZ. Well, guys, let us know who you think is going to be winning over in the chat. Do you think that he's going to be able to ook out a victory with hashtag UKK? Or do you feel like he's going to take Namaste his next card? We'll see you guys after the break. ZVZ and Ook over.
I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready. I can't cast it yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. It's too far away. I can't do that. That's still recharging. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That's still recharging. Not ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready. That ability isn't ready. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't attack that target. That's still recharging. I need to get closer. Not ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast it yet.
Welcome back,
That spell
ladies and
isn't ready
gentlemen,
yet.
to the Dream
Not
Hack
ready yet.
Masters. It's your
That
favorite time of
ability
day.
isn't
We
ready
watch two
yet. I
humans
can't
play
do
video
that
games.
yet.
They pretend to be aliens.
That ability isn't
Dead.
ready yet.
I'm Nathanius, joined by Zombie Grub, and
It's
we
too
are
far away.
we are waiting
Not
for,
ready yet.
for players
That's
to
still
get ready.
recharging.
So,
I can't
Zombie
do
Grub,
that yet.
How you doing?
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Let me ask you
Not
this.
ready
They're
yet.
not born on
I can't cast that yet. I can't do that
alien to
yet.
us, right?
That ability isn't
There are
ready
so many
yet.
factors
Not ready
about
yet.
what makes us us, you know.
That spell isn't ready yet.
For all we know,
I
our
can't
zone
do
is
that
for.
yet. I can't cast
Arizona
that
might have
yet.
a
That's still
50%
recharging.
Maybe everybody there is.
That ability
And the
isn't
reason why
ready.
we can't tell is because it's all relative.
Not ready
Normal
yet.
next to each other, but next to us, they'd all be, you know, Dutch people, right?
I can't do that yet. That spell isn't
All the
ready yet.
definitions I looked up for alien would say yes. Terrans are also
That's still
so
recharging.
you're
Not
never
ready
incorrect
yet.
with your statement.
That
But
spell
it's also a
isn't ready
CBC.
yet.
It's also a CBC.
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready
When
yet.
there's a TV, you can also
Not ready yet.
We could go one step
I
further.
can't do
In a
that.
universe where Earth could actually get its head out of its butt
That ability
to do
isn't
anything.
ready yet.
You know,
I
we
can't
have
cast
everybody
that yet.
scientists
That spell isn't ready
in
yet.
that timeline.
I can't cast that yet.
I don't know that we
That's still recharging. I can't do that yet. Not ready. I can't cast that yet. That ability
I mean,
isn't
you
ready.
could try and
Not
do like
ready.
a Kala, but would you
That's
really
still
want to be a part of
recharging.
that?
That
You know,
spell
it's
isn't
good,
ready.
Imagine if
I'm out of range. That ability isn't ready.
Yeah,
I can't do that
sounds
yet.
good.
That
I mean,
ability
apparently they can like
isn't ready.
quiet their
I
minds
can't
and
do
like
that
keep
yet.
secrets.
I can't
guess,
cast
but
that yet.
apparently it's like the gist is like 90%
Not
we're gonna
ready
be
yet.
feeling and thinking.
That spell isn't ready. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready. That spell isn't ready. It's too far away. Not ready yet. That ability isn't
I
ready
mean,
yet.
let's
I can't
just
do
say there's
that
a lot of
yet.
moments
That ability isn't
find
ready yet.
themselves maybe a little over emotional, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing that we can't read each other's minds. Some people are like,
That's
I
still
wish I could do it.
recharging.
No,
I can't do that
no,
yet.
I don't want to know
I
what's
can't
going
cast
through.
that yet.
Terrible.
Not
I think
ready
it's
yet.
terrible superpower. You know what?
I can't do that yet.
That is credit to the book.
That ability
because they
isn't
made
ready.
the main characters. Like
Not
it's more of a
ready.
curse for her.
That spell
That
isn't
is
ready.
100%.
That
Even if it was
ability
something you
isn't
turn
ready
off.
yet. I can't do that yet.
You be curious, and you make a mistake.
The last thing I thought is that someone other than Demuzla.
That's still recharging. Not ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
The murder serial killer mystery.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened afterwards.
Like many
Stopped
things, it
watching.
starts off strong, then they're like, well, we need to make.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Somehow
That's still
rarely
recharging.
seems to work. We're still
That
waiting for
spell
place to get
isn't
into the
ready.
body.
That's still recharging. That ability
I mean, the Zerg
isn't
can
ready
kind
yet.
of
I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Not ready.
Yeah, I guess.
I can't do that yet. I need to get closer.
Do you think it's the other way around?
That
like the
ability
first one,
isn't
where
ready yet.
The actual
Not ready.
individuality is trying
That
to break out.
ability isn't ready
Like all the
yet.
Zerg are actually just trapped in their own bodies, like some sort of horror movie.
That's what overlords are for, right? That's why, like,
I'm out of
in the
range.
story, if an overlord dies, like everything that it was controlling kind of freaks out. Which would be an
Yeah.
awesome feature in
No,
StarCraft,
no.
by the way.
Listen,
It's too
have to
far
free
away.
the Zerg.
I
We
can't
have to
do
be
that
over
yet.
mine. We need to kill all the overlords.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready. Not ready. I can't do that yet. Not
In
ready.
StarCraft universe,
That
there
ability
are, like,
isn't
Zerg
ready
that
yet.
they're like trying to like, no,
That's still
this is under
recharging.
control, so
I can't cast that yet.
Like, I
That
can attack
spell
the Terran,
isn't
but
ready
do I
yet.
have to run into 7 siege tanks up a cliff? No! I'm gonna go with, like, that's the Ling at the Watchtower. He's like, I can be useful without going in to die. And there's a Widow Mine at the tower, and he's like, oh.
The Zerg, okay, I was going the opposite. Like, I was thinking Aaron,
I can't do that. That ability isn't ready. I can't do that
like, you
yet.
need to, like,
Not
befriend
ready.
Zerg and hug Zerg.
That ability isn't ready.
Oh.
I can't do that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Just saying.
That ability
Just
isn't
saying.
ready.
Jim Raynor didn't take her prom.
Not ready yet.
She went overboard.
I can't do
She,
that yet. Not ready yet.
She was
I can't cast
Like
that yet.
Poison
That
Ivy is a lot
ability
less
isn't ready yet.
Oh
Not
my
ready
god,
yet.
it's like
I
totally
can't
off
do
topic.
that
It's not
yet.
even StarCraft.
That ability
That I was
isn't
thinking
ready
of,
yet.
like her.
That's still
Whatever
recharging.
his name is from
I can't
Futurama.
cast
When
that
he like
yet.
finds the girl who's a Omicronian,
Of this world.
the cosplayer. Do you remember that episode?
It's beautiful.
So-
I have not seen enough of the show to give you those, but I've seen many random episodes. But I think we're at the point where the game has started. I don't know if we're just taking a second before we get in, if we're having a little technical,
Tech issues.
just a couple of technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. So thankfully, you do have us to talk about everything related to the game at all times. But if anything happens, we'll keep you posted. There's 2 Zerg players. It's Cosmic Sapphire. That's the first map. And they are both going hatch first. So roof is not on fire yet.
Correct. Yeah, nothing actually interesting to look at, but things have finally been fixed. And now we can do the intros. Top left, it is the red Zerg. Go.
They can't
yeah,
join
guys,
our
who's the other
group.
guy. In the bottom right, we have the blue Zerg player from Sidestorm Gaming. He's Naxx. I just feel better about killing overlords now when I play StarCraft because I'm actually freeing the Zerg. So that's great, you know?
Yeah, you're freeing a bunch of puppies from a
That's right.
slave driver.
That's right. That's right. And then they can all run around and spread creep somewhere where it won't hurt people. You know, that's really all they want to do. It's really all they want to do. That's basically, I mean, they don't do it in ZVZ, so maybe this isn't the best time to mention it. In ZVZ, they kind of just prefer to throw up all over each other. That's typically what Zerg versus Zerg looks like because they don't have weapons. They can really just spit at each other. That's what most of them do.
Yeah, but you know, if humans had acid spit, that's 100% what we'd be doing.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have made it to computers. We probably things would have gone downhill real fast if everybody had that power.
Much faster, yes, indeed. But you're right. That's all they do in ZVZ is they spit on each other.
The Zerglings, Zerglings, they have like those weird hand things. The real zoom in on the model, they basically look like they have hands.
The
They're
Brood
not
War
really.
model's the worst.
The Brood War model.
They got tiny hands, literally tiny hands, guys. This is. I'm gonna
just
break
flat
someone's
bot.
brain again because I brought
They
up
just flat
Archon
bot
feet.
the whole time.
You know, check out the Archon feet in Brood War, guys. Also check out the Zergling hands. They look like clown hands.
When they did remaster like 4K models and you zoom in on the Zergling, you're like, no, go back.
Go back.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. They made some. I mean, they were almost too true to the artist of 1998, but they had to pick and choose, right? So, 3 hatch versus 3 hatch. You know, as far as I've seen from both players, Uko a lot less. And Naxx have been casting him since God knows when, 2012. Kind of macro oriented, yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna get here.
He's been out here grinding for a crazy long time. He of course moved to North America, started competing in the region, lives here, and he's he's had a fun little tournament. You've seen him do a couple of funky things. He's done some cheeky Nidus action in a few of the other series that we've seen, and also just kind of handling some of the madness, but not really taking that like mechanical overpowering angle. And that's why he ends up struggling against some of the higher level players that we've had in NA. But I think that's also kind of comes into he's got some other priorities and stuff that he's working on. So he's able to make it here. He's able to compete, but we haven't really seen that like top level Namsharvold that can, you know, dumpster most American players as we usually talk about when it's EU versus NA. A couple cheeky Banelings trying to slip through, but otherwise, yeah, nice 3-base DVZ setup. And usually this just ends up with everybody going into roaches.
Well, the difference is, I totally agree about your point, by the way. Naxx actually, even when he first moved to NA, I would say it was already less dominating than some people suspected anyways. In this particular game, the big difference is currently that Uko made a decent number of lings and delayed the evolution chamber. Now that decent number of lings I don't think was too problematic. Yes, it means less drones, but that kind of is the seesaw goes back and forth of ZVZ. This is, I think, a bit more troubling, which is that the +1 missile is just straight up behind, right? No Corona boost in this matchup. So sometimes you can kind of scare your opponent, get them to make units, you make drones, it balances out. Those upgrades, you aren't really catching up anytime soon.
Yeah, and it's not like a crazy lead if Naxx doesn't specifically time around using it to attack. The lair for him is only just about to finish, so it's not like this is a roach speed +1. It could be roach speed +2, since he'll be able to immediately go into that upgrade once the lair is ready. So all of this to say, there's not really that much pressure for Naxx to be taking it to Uko in the near future, and he comes in and sees, oh well, you're getting your lair as well. Mine just finished, so looks like I'm ahead a little bit at least tech wise, and that +2 attack does start up with his roach speed.
You know, I know they're both scouting each other, doing kind of normal things, and that's fine, but I would say there's almost too much scouting from our side. You know, see European Zergs kind of lock down those walls a bit neater, so there is a real question mark about when can we go, when can we not. These guys have actually gotten full information multiple times, so and they both throw appropriately, both should be accurate. Uko's better. That is kind of a downside for one or another.
I need to get closer.
Know exactly what's going on.
still
He
with
tried to throw another couple Banelings over to the natural. Not really able to hit too much, but Namshar is loading up some Baneling drops. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't really care. It's awesome.
That's what's important. Yeah, Baneling drops definitely a cool addition. I feel like it's very macro oriented. We have this thing, even the default. Like this is part of your build almost.
That ability isn't right.
Drop. But Namshar is currently the only one doing it. It is the Banelings up the roaches. Uko not so much. Uko, I think, even though there's some stuttering along the way, right, that much later upgrade, but the much later upgrade, I mean, the fact that he had 7 more drones for a solid minute, I kind of like this. Like the supply, certainly is. Unless Namshar actually hits maybe crystals one time, I feel like Uko is just going to maybe get maxed out faster and have a little bit more wiggle room as well, as he once again goes up to 73 drones. Namshar a little bit later, so that prioritize the Ravagers.
Yeah, don't hate to see that at all in this group so far.
That ability isn't ready.
Earlier on.
That's still with George. That's still.
He's actually taking on some strong opponents.
That's still with George. I can't
That's
still with George. I'm ready. That's fair. I can't do that.
He's got a lot of that natural.
That ability
I don't think it was great. Heavily supply block. So he literally lost an Overlord, maybe 2, I'm not sure. But he didn't even really notice that he was going to be supply blocked in the first place. Until like a minute afterwards, man. 9 Overlords in the box, that's fantastic. That meant the army wasn't here on the front line ready to go. The third base had already been broken. And the 20 roads coming up now, they're coming in different parts of the map. So it's possible it's going to be 33% of the army versus 100% every single engagement.
That ability isn't ready.
Yep, and he's trying to do something really fancy. He was maybe thinking that Uko was going to play passive in this game, but that was not the case. He's supposed to be straight up to why. You think about these lost. He's maxed out, so he's going to fly onto these Ravagers. They're trying to dive on Namshar's Ravagers, which are exposed to the north end of the fight. Has more corrosive bombs to work with. That is a huge boon to this push. And
I can't do that.
supply block earlier on in the fight.
That's still with George.
All around the map.
I can't do that.
George is in the main
That ability isn't ready. I can't do that. That ability. I can't do that.
It's almost like he's warming up, man. It's almost like he didn't actually play a couple of games beforehand. Because even though, yes, he's not like full-time diligent
Not
or something like that.
I can't do that.
You know, if there is a mistake, it's like
That's still with
10
George.
seconds later to
I can't
fly box. Like, I think it's very obvious that all that Baneling dropping micro was a really large his overload pop, his marble pop, it's fine. But that was pretty egregious, and it did happen at a time where Uko was ready to attack him.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of fancy footwork there, and then it's kind of like a double hit.
I'm out of range.
The overlords that did the drops all died, so it makes that supply block situation
I can't do
a
that
little
yet.
bit worse. You're thinking about, okay, these units will go in, they'll die, I'll rebuild, get roaches, max out, get my 2-1, and Namshar lined up pretty much everything for it to go into that roach phase pretty nicely. If that could not do with any more zombie grip. He had his +2
It's
earlier.
too far away.
And
That's still with George. That ability
everything should have been in place for
I
him
can't
to
cast that.
have some
I
kind of
can't
really
do that.
valuable advantage in the roach v roach. Kind of overextended, like harassed as a result.
I need to get closer.
For game
Not ready.
drop the snack.
That's fair.
Nice
Isn't
short.
ready.
Some deep good defensive
That
features,
ability
but
isn't
I think
ready.
this map is just generally.
I can't do that.
Maybe it still is. I don't know. I actually don't think about it too much. But But I love all the games that have shown us this map. All the PDCs back in the early days when that was happening here. So, yeah, I got all the
That's still recording. That ability.
Again, instead of before.
Not ready.
Broadcast.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready.
So,
I can't do
kind of a
that.
special treat to see what this looks like between these two, again, almost guaranteed macro players. CDC, I do believe, has situated itself to be a magic where if you're going to play best in class, you definitely got to go with some G's. Can't just macro, but I think our best of 3 between these two players.
That spell
We'll
isn't
take
ready.
advantage of
I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. It's still recording. That ability
We're loaded
isn't
in.
ready.
Bottom left. We have the red
That
reserve
spell
player
isn't
who
ready.
is the 1-0 lead here. He
Not
is
ready.
Suko.
I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready. That's still recording.
It's not
can't
right
do
for
that.
side storm
That
maintenance.
ability
It's
isn't
damn
ready.
job.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that. Not ready.
Fans in the chat, by the way, not only is he delivering on the results, you know, I feel like this is if people talk about how winning is how you get noticed, and then it's like, oh, you qualified, then you lose, then the next season you qualify, you beat somebody, but it's like a very slow and painful process. Everybody goes through, right? From Cyril to Estrella to now somebody like Uko. But my other favorite side is when we have these ridiculous channel point bets, and someone's like, well, Uko is against somebody that we
I
know
need to get closer.
that, like, did really well against somebody else.
That's still
There's no way
recording.
he's gonna win.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that. Not ready. I can't do that. That spell
It's just
isn't
beautiful. Now
ready.
you got all these people rolling around
Not
with
ready.
Maseratis talking about how
That
amazing
ability
this
isn't
guy is.
ready.
I love to see it.
Imagine if that was a perk for winning a bet. You get like one, I don't know, whatever car you want, basically. Ride through Twitch chat.
Sure, yeah.
All the messages.
I can't cast that.
I think that's why
That's
the
still
Western
Georgia.
countries
That
like
ability
you do
isn't
channel point
ready.
bets.
That spell isn't ready.
You sub, you get them a little bit faster, but there's no really
I
faster.
can't do that yet.
No. Why are some people not allowed to do the chat combo? I mean, he never has to.
But I do agree. I see a lot of Uko fans. I think his stream kind of low-key popular at the very least. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to. But I don't think
That's
people like
still
500,000 viewers. But whatever we're hitting are liking it.
That spell
Chris in a lot of the
isn't ready.
community. Whatever it's
Not ready.
generally making it easy for himself.
That's still recording. That ability
Seems like
isn't ready.
that with performance. Where you're right, usually it's like performance first, and then oh my gosh, the guy streams, and this is the guy, whatever.
That
It
spell
seems to maybe
isn't
come out a little bit of the opposite.
I can't cast that yet.
Or he was getting a couple of fans, I think,
I can't do that.
before, but
That's still
anyway,
recording.
even now,
That ability
towards the
isn't
board,
ready.
as well as capturing results.
I can't do that yet.
Win very big first chance in the playoffs. I actually have a lot of confidence in Uko after that first game, which
It's too far away.
the positive
That
way of
spell
putting it. I
isn't
guess
ready.
I was to say I don't have a lot of confidence in him.
I was looking at his previous like online cover results and stuff.
I can't cast that yet. That's still
Small
recording.
ones,
Not ready.
winner on Lucky Dinner
I
Cup
can't
or
do
something
that.
like that. One
I can't
was
cast that.
taking out
Not ready.
Titanic
I
American
can't do that.
such as Treat and Ryan.
That ability isn't ready yet.
No map on Nina before Uko really got on the radar.
That spell isn't ready.
One of those guys
That
that's
ability
quietly grinding in the background, putting in
Not
the time,
ready.
putting in the
I
effort,
can't do
and being able to make it to
that. That
the stage.
ability
That's freaking
isn't
awesome.
ready yet.
Yeah, Ryan, by the way, is definitely #1 jet dive.
I'm out of range.
Good stuff.
Not ready.
As well as
That's still recording. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready.
but no, you're right. Like,
I can't do
it
that.
actually
I
is
can't cast it.
another success
That
story
ability
for
isn't
North
ready yet.
America, where I think like Estrella was one of our big ones of the last like 5 years, and then Trigger of the last 2 years.
Not
Is
ready.
definitely also
That
really
spell
coming
isn't
up.
ready.
There's a few other
I
names
can't
that
do
are
that.
a few people, but basically because Uko gets some fans, puts in the hours, puts in the work, continues to grind, then actually performs. Like that is the upward trajectory that you would hope to have a thriving esport, which, let's be real, it doesn't happen as much in StarCraft NA. So it is extra special to have it happen. As such, I'm even kind of low-key cheering for him. I love him. Guys,
That's still recharging.
We all have lots of things that
That's still recharging.
time to play and time to
That's still recharging. That ability isn't ready.
This is not looking too much different than map number 1, Zombie Grub. Neither of these players really trying to force anything super funky. We've had a couple links diving in for some information.
It's too far away.
Otherwise,
I'm out
a
of
little
range.
bit of a faster layer
I
timing
can't do
again
that
for
yet.
Namchar.
Not
His
ready.
+1 hasn't lined up with it, so
can't do
he's not
that.
going to be trying to hit
I
any sort
can't
of
cast
faster
that yet.
timing, and
Not ready.
that didn't really end up helping
That
him
ability
in the first
isn't
map.
ready.
So
That's still
maybe
recharging.
different approach to this one, and it's going to try and bang it out without doing all the Overlord drops and slowing himself
I can't
down
do that.
for that big roach being
That's
fight.
fair. Isn't
I'm
ready.
just checking out Namcar's drone count.
That
I was
ability
like, I saw one a drone.
that's still recharging. I can't cast that. That's fair.
I was really hoping there was an extra.
I can't
There
cast that
wasn't.
yet. That's still recharging.
This isn't the first time that he's busted this one out. I don't remember which exact series it was before, but he's done this at least in one of the other ZVZs he's played in this group that we got to cast, and it's a great way to reinforce. I thought he was going to do it to backstab, and maybe he will this game, but before it was just like, I'm just going to rally everything forward and just use it like warp gate in front of your base. So at the same time, we do have a couple of links that are over towards the point base on the northwest. Approaches and links for Uko are there to deal with it, though. He's feeling good. And the overseer is going to fly over towards the mid. I don't think he knows about the Naxx, but he's overloaded his base. He's one building.
Maybe it does. It 100% sees it, but Uko himself does not see it.
That's fair.
Folks think that he is going to attack on the front lines, which is actually the majority of teams are, so it is fair to try and defend this first. But the main base also under attack. Pulls the drones away. Lets the reinforcements handle it. Maybe Uko will be able to deal with this. Slow reinforcements coming in to help this battle, and really no reinforcements, right? Maybe Uko can handle that, and then just let his main base take a bit of a beating for the greater good.
Yeah. the greater good. As the roaches, I mean, look, the idea here from Naxx makes a tremendous amount of sense. Push across, distract
That ability.
another night is for him
I can't do that.
his own base.
I can't cast that yet. That ability isn't ready. Not ready.
Faster reinforcement. I don't know if he had vision anywhere closer.
That
He's gonna go
ability
back into the main again. So it looks like Naxx's play is to just drown in the dark.
That's
Just
fair.
gonna keep
Isn't
trying to hit
ready.
him, pull him apart, and make Uko as uncomfortable as possible until he
I
breaks.
can't cast that yet.
I
I
think
can't do
this is
that.
it, actually.
That's fair.
Not
Isn't
enough
ready.
roaches on the front
That's
line,
still
especially
recharging.
because the
I can't
reinforcements
cast that
slow.
yet.
Uko's
That's
still
still
in the path of
recharging.
roach speed. Namchar gets another 15
That's
drones.
fair. Isn't ready.
From last time,
ready.
but one is out there to
I can't do that.
It's eventually going to
That's
need
still
to upgrade, but
recharging.
that's what one thing
That
about
ability
right? Yeah,
isn't
one
ready.
faster +2, but by like 30, 40 seconds,
Not ready.
he's still going to be playing whack-a-mole. He's still going to
That's
have a
fair.
large
Isn't
number of
ready.
roaches to handle.
That's still
Now this
recharging.
roach being
That
stunned,
ability
it's a little
isn't
easier
ready.
to
I
start
can't
being
do
pulled
that.
around.
That's
But
fair.
Namchar still has a lot of potential. Once
ready.
again, there was supply lock.
That
Not
ability
mentioning that. He is maybe missing some of the gas and love and ejects that he was hoping he would have. But another nice from the main base. Uko just not quite keeping up with multitasking.
Yeah, it's tough. It's getting hit from multiple directions, non-stop, over and over again. And to his credit, did a really good job in that first map. But this one maybe is just being almost a little too much. He is hanging in there pretty well. He's maintained a decent amount of his economy and forces. It's just hard to see where he's going to be able to go back across the map. Because even if Namchar slipped up and took a huge loss in one of these fights, he just keeps pushing. He just keeps attacking. And Namchar does have a fourth. He's gotten some drones onto that northeast base. So he's going to run down to the natural, continue to focus on killing the drones. And unlike that first game where it was the banelings and the drops and he got blocked, and frankly, he is pretty close to the supply cap, but he's also 30 over Uko, so kind of says everything. And I think now for Uko, the only real move he has left is to just try and make this big counterattack. And I don't know whether or not it's going to work out, but I think he's going to have his eye on the potential of that Nidus, at least in a theoretical third game.
I mean, this is the only thing Uko can do, but it's the perfect time to do it. It's the closest I think their supplies are ever going to be before Namchar finishes that +1 Carapace. Fortunately, it's not going to work. Namchar did have enough in proper position, even as some Ravagers where Uko does not. Uko taps out. Makes sense.
Yeah, bit of a rough draw there. The Nidus getting it done. Nidus Worm getting it done there for Namchar. And it's a little bit tough just because, you know, he has busted that out in this group. That's something that Namchar has been liking a little bit. And I don't know that he's going to do it again in Game 3, but pulls out one of his little signature moves there to tie things up. And we've got a Game 3 Zombie Grub. Nice little ZVZ match going on. And again, just awesome to see. Pretty crazy amount of support for Uko in the chat. You guys are awesome.
What's going on? Yeah.
I love it.
There's a couple things in that game though that still makes me like really wonder what exactly is going to happen in this best of 3. So first of all, Namchar shored up a lot of his mistakes from last game. You know, first and foremost for sure is that he stopped letting those lings in. Because if it was the first game, there's like 3 or 4 lings, and they definitely missed the Nidus Worm. But he made sure that the wall was plugged. So that was definitely most important because the Nidus Worm was the build. Then second of all, he didn't get supply block to under 144. I think at all, maybe for like a couple of seconds. But he did start to miss macro 100% with all of the engagements happening, right? Like no doubt about that. He had supply, he had money, he had larva, and he just wasn't producing. So that makes me concerned if the game goes longer than a 3-base Nidus Worm, right? But then Uko wasn't exactly perfect either. He actually got supply block, I think, on like 36. So like very early on in the game, I just didn't mention it. So I guess what I'm saying is they've both been making some mistakes, but it seems like Uko, all things considered, would make less big mistakes if the game goes like maxed out to maxed out, right? So if that happens, I think it's a replica of number 1. If Namchar has another timing attack in mind, he might actually look better and take game 3.
Yeah, and this is going to be an important one then. We've been talking about it. They're trying to trade those places for that 4th and 5th seed in this group to be able to make it for the playoffs. On the east side, we have the Red Zerg player, Uko.
In the bottom left for Psystorm, he is Namchar.
My takeaway from this series is apparently I need to check out. I need to watch some Uko stream. I need to hit up and see whatever this guy's got going on because it seems like he's got some good vibes. Will that be enough to get it done here? This map is going to be another great one for the drops, so maybe that comes more. Hard to guess based on everything that we've seen so far. We can almost kind of safely assume they're going to go to 3 bases, be a link speed opening for both. They'll get a Baneling nest. They'll try to do, you know, it's like that back in the day, every single ZVZ was Ling Bane, and the people that didn't want to do it, they still like kind of half-heartedly did it. They're like, I'll make 2 Banelings so that you can't just like Ling all in me. And the other guy's like, yeah, I'll make 7 Lings so you make Banelings. But they're both like, we don't actually. It's like 2 dogs on, right, when they're like being held right a foot away from each other, like they want to go at it, but then you let them go, and they're just like, yeah, no, we don't actually want to do that, so then they go to roaches.
A gif of the dogs barking over a fence, and then the camera pans to their right, and the fence ends.
Yeah.
They, like, easily attack each other.
Like, no, we both prefer to stay on our side of the fence, just shouting as if we're on the internet.
Yes.
Discussing something that doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. That was a lot of earlier days CDZ, and it still plagues the ladder, I can tell you that. But usually, especially when the players kind of are little, you could argue almost too stylistic, you know, like these two are almost too dependable to talk about their macros.
There's that guy out there whose goal is to try to apply for like the Guinness Book of World Records and have the most StarCraft games ever played. And there's a little asterisk there. He's like, well, you know, see, I just 1-base speedling all in every game, every matchup, just because I want to get this record and prove how great I am at StarCraft. So it's like, I'm not really sure that's what you're implying. yeah. Because it is what it is, I guess. As everything is kind of proceeding the way that we predicted. So pretty chill, pretty cash money. Nice NA series to start us off here. But still, just all of that aside, whoever wins this specific game, you're kind of punching that ticket to the playoffs. So this is still a really important one, and it's not the absolute final match, but it is certainly the one that you want to have under your belt if you're Uko, because he's already in that advantageous position. So this is just one of those things that would really, getting up to 4-2 would actually put him into that third spot competitively, and then the series against Vindicta becomes third versus fourth instead.
Yeah, no, it's definitely crux of the issue is that this is stress. This is the ticket to the playoffs, and it's do or die game number 3. So Go started off very strong. Namshar fought back. If I was coaching Namshar, I think I would 100% again suggest a timing attack on 3 bases, just because I am still very worried about his macro potential. But right now, it's kind of about those lings. Uko has enough that a counterattack, I think, would be in order. It's not that you think a counterattack would do very much, just kind of like the ebb and flow of ZBZ, right? Oh, and he should definitely be piling on some pressure, just because you want to kind of keep up appearances. It's actually +1 melee, not a Roach Warren. So it's actually very interesting. He's going to call in from this, like not a Carapace, but a melee instead.
I love to see this. These styles are so much fun to watch. Like I think that back in the day, this was not quite as common, because we do have a couple of these cheeky lings from Namshar going in and try to bait a Baneling. This is that dog barking phase, by the way, where it's not the full commitment just yet. He's actually going roaches. Oh. Namshar's lining this up for his +1. He's not getting the lair. He's not going for it. He just wants to do +1, roach, and then I guess whatever money he has might go into lings behind it. But that makes this kind of a tenuous situation, because he's going to 2-shot the lings of Uko. Uko's strategy is naturally going to revolve around lings because of the melee. But if Uko survives long enough to get that +1, then the lings can kind of rip the roaches to pieces. So it's going to get very awkward very quickly.
I just don't think this is very good by Uko. Like if this is a straight up macro game, if you really are assuming that your opponent is not going to do anything, they are just going to get up to 4 bases and get roaches, as needed, then I could see how supercharged lings even later on in the game could be quite useful. But there's a couple of reasons why I don't like it. It's not because he's into the game right here, right now, guys. That is part of it. It's because it's late. It's later than the +1 missile, which we know is more important because it takes that kill shot away from killing lings. So Namshar is like, he's prepped against a ling-based guy. This is the upgrade that matters the most for Namshar. And then because Uko wasn't particularly quick to the +1 melee, it's not like his lings were all that useful. Now, last second reinforcements, a spine crawler building as well, and Namshar just not having any speed, right? Means that Uko is going to hold, besides from like a kind of awkward start. But I still really wonder what this means for the entire game. Are those lings actually going to be useful? Are they going to make up for a 17-worker deficit?
He needs them to. And well, one thing you can do, a little bit behind on the drones anyway, right? He's going for the Spire. So that's not the worst option to take. Namshar is ahead on drones, but he just built those while that attack was happening. So Uko will be able to respond. Namshar's going to have to build some more units. And even if a couple of these links can get to the drones, that +1 melee can turn things around quickly as far as the damage is concerned, because they are on that even base count. So Uko pushing forward through Namshar's army as it continues to retreat. I'd love to see him try to peel a few of these off to focus on the drones, but he's ready to just trade army versus army. And the only thing I don't like about that, Zombie Grub, comes back to the upgrades. I mean, Namshar's roaches are better. So if you're going to trade your roaches as Uko, you don't want to trade them for the other roaches here. I'd maybe try to trade for a few of the drones. Interestingly enough, Namshar also starts his fire, but he's getting +2 missiles, so...
Yeah, he's opening up an opportunity. You can just make 7 mutas and then be like, yep, we're done. Which he shouldn't do, actually, in this game. But, yeah, that I'm not surprised to see on a 3-base Zerg, necessarily. One who is pretty sure they're going to live through that counterattack. Uko, I think it's clear now that his plan was to go into I would say later +1 melee, because we see that as a fast upgrade so much more often, right? Yes. But anyways, and then going to mutas, which fine. You know, if you want to play a lane muta game against the guy on a big map like Data C, that yeah, okay. It just is unfortunate that he went up against a guy planning a 3-base timing, who is again pushing in already. The mutas are not ready to go, so evacuation is necessary. Uko, I think, had preconceived notions of how game 3 was going to go, and they didn't go that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, just tough draw there. +1, like you said, on the melee. Just never really got to provide the value that I think you were looking for. And while the Mutalisks are out, this is like that conversation we have when there's 30 roaches in your base and you have a Banshee. Yeah, so you will theoretically kill these over a long enough period of time, but you're going to lose everything else. Now the Link counterattack during this, still very cute. A lot of drones should go down in Namshar's base. He has more roaches going over there though. But the problem again is it still takes a bit of time to get through all of this, and he is eventually chewing it out. But at the end, it's 25 drones for Uko, and Namshar just finished another wave as he cleans the links up. He's up to 53, so you're at half the workers of your opponent. These Mutalisks, you need to control these to the point where they literally just bring you back into the game and win it, which is not something that we've never seen in a ZVZ before, but you also need to keep tabs on where Namshar's army is, because if he's able to get these roaches out on the field and counterattack while the Mutalisks are in Namshar's base, that gets awkward too. And he's just, he is very on top of it with the muta control. So I don't know, Zombie Grub, let's just see where this goes.
Right, this is close enough that mutas could make the comeback. You know, I think the Ling run by that killed 15 drones was actually pretty impactful. On top of that, Namshar had to make so many spores because he didn't have enough queens. He couldn't produce them fast enough. That's -8 drones on top of that. So yeah, he's not exactly thriving as much as you would expect from all those roaches in every little nook and cranny of Ugo's base. But I do think he's still solid enough that he's supposed to win, right? But the mutas, they can be very tricky. You know, Link run-by is also still very threatening, especially if Namshar does have to try and protect 4 bases. I was going to say I don't think he should be able to protect 4 bases. I feel like that 4th is supposed to be a goner. And then, yeah, 3 base to 4 on the reverse, like Uko's the one on 4 bases. There's question marks, man.
Yeah, definitely some question marks. And there's the other part now too. The mutas, of course, you have some vision. There's overloads on the outside, but tunneling claws and burrow for Namshar, that is just generally difficult to deal with. So that's going to help for avoiding units. Of course, we'll see maybe some of these guys just go right on by. Now, I think the Overseer is kind of close by. You can see a little bit of this tunneling. So for Uko, I hope he sees that the roaches are all there. Bring that Overseer over too. Okay, Namshar realizes. He's like, I did go under the Overseer, didn't I?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think he even really tried hard to hide the Tunneling Claws graphic upgrade, but yeah, just went underneath an Overseer. It's still threatening for Uko, who now knows that, you know, instead of the ideal situation, which is that he harasses with mutas all day long, he doesn't have to worry about
I can't cast it. I can't do that yet.
So that means the mutas have another job, which they really can't afford to have. They need to be kind of perfectly micro on their side of the map. They never got that 4th base either, which I really thought was going to be kind of a freebie. You know, if he had gone there first and foremost, I think the 4th hatch definitely goes down, but then he wanted to get drones, which is very understandable. He wanted to find a pocket with no spore crawler. Yeah, okay, understandable. And then there's just too many queens to transfuse, so maybe he missed out.
Look at him though, he's so ready for these attacks coming in. Like, I just can't believe that timing on the 3rd base, and then all the roaches inside of the main, and the mutas having to clean everything up. Like, this really seemed like a dire situation for Uko, and I don't think that he's necessarily out of it yet, because a lot of what's taking this time is Namshar getting something to deal with the mutas without having to build mutalisks himself, because he doesn't want to do that. But the fact that Uko has gotten it to a place now where he has a pretty fair shot of making this comeback real, that is fascinating. As I say that, roaches are going to unburrow in the natural. There's not a lot of drones at this particular base. He's getting the gas from it mostly, but we'll need to bring the army back to deal with that. And this of course, is the primary strength of a roach tunneling claw strategy. Is find time. But Uko with a big bane run by onto the 3rd, and 18 drones shadow realmed there. Zombie Grub.
So many queens. Yeah, that was a good Baneling run by. Namshar very quick to replacing them. He certainly has the minerals to do so. And once again, having a lot of larva. In this case, though, I'm not going to point out a map for mistake. He's actually waiting to build lurkers, so that's totally fine. Lurkers being the priority, they're going to shore up the defenses on every single base without much micro necessary. You add a couple of spores for some SimCity, anti-muted defense, and those 4 bases are not going to get broken. So Uko, yeah, it's great that the game has had those question marks. And the supplies, oh my god, are going to look so much worse in 1 second. Oh my god, one more fungal. Oh, he's not going to get it. Okay, so, but they still look pretty bad. The supplies look pretty bad.
That's, yeah, it doesn't get too much worse. It's the only thing. Okay, there's not really any way to sugarcoat this. I guess not all of the mutas instantly died. There wasn't a fungal on them, but a lot of supply down the drain for Uko. Ooh, that's tough. This is a tough spot to be in. I mean, the most he can do is just keep boxing Namshar into his face, but that's the risk that you take now that infestors are out. Another fungal growth onto that army. I'm still kind of recovering from that. That was horrifying.
Even without the fungals, I don't think his attack was actually in line with the current situation. If he had found Namshar very out of place, probably alright, but even then, Namshar's army was getting very scary. Uko was not at a situation where he could just be throwing Baneling Muta at his opponent and hoping it can create enough chaos. That's what he wanted to do. Completely failed. Now he's going to try and go maybe to plan B or not. I'm actually not sure what this hive is going to be for because I don't see a Hydro stand. I would take your plan B to be going to your own lurkers. Usually what Zerg players do nowadays when mutas fail is, Ultra suck. But we don't have a Hydro stand.
They will be in charge of
I think we're bearing witness to it right now. He's going for the, I can't say so many Banelings. 25 is a lot, but it's not quite the roll over your whole entire army number. And it's also quite terrifying to think that Banelings are the ace in the hole against somebody that has 6 lurkers. But I suppose that's just the way things are right now. And going up to 12 lurkers is Namshar. So slows himself down a little bit, but there's another landing on some of the mutas. And those Hydralisks, if they don't have to worry about the Banes, they can do a lot versus those mutas. And a great drone split from Namshar is going to save him from that push. But dire straits. I mean, Uko's army looks fun, looks cool. It's very fast and mobile, but head-to-head against the lurkers and the infestors and the hydras, it's hard to see how you stop this push from Namshar.
You don't. You really don't. Just try to buy time, get to a better technology, and he did decide to go into Ultras, which this special is definitely casted by us coming in. I really didn't give any credit to Ultras because they've been known to throw these types of games so much. Not that it'd be a throw. I mean, it was still trying to come back, but I don't know. They were like,
a fungal again, and there's the biles.
The hydras are left alone. Those roaches split away or just lose away, whatever. So most of the hydras did die, but Namshar pretty quick to reinforce. Now Uko, he had a lot of very tough decisions to make in this game. Very tough. Maybe going into a aggressive stance, but then actually going into like your own lurkers could have baffled Namshar enough to work. But you will always say that there's just nothing that was kind of supposed to work. Uko was behind from the roaches and
the strength of this type of play would have been to keep Namshar trapped in his own base, but I think as soon as that first big fungal hit and Muta started to get picked off and he realized, okay, got a little bit scared about making that attack, and Namshar able to close it out after a very back and forth series between these two. Pretty awesome display from Uko regardless, but Namshar kind of recognizing, I think that's where that experience at the competitive level comes into play. He's like, okay, what is the decision that I need to make here, given what's happening? And, well, you said it. He should be trying to make those timings. He did. He got a huge lead off of it, and he just did all of the things to check off the boxes so that the mutas could not beat him out. But that's just one of those tough spots. The +1 melee on the Zerglings, and then you don't actually get to use the Lings to defend the attack. You can't counterattack with Lings. He just ended up trading those roaches out for the better upgraded ones. Not much else to say there. So Namshar takes it 2-1 and gets himself another opportunity to make it out of this group.
Yeah, good for Namshar. I feel like the last few years have definitely opened up his flexibility, actually. A lot of the times it will happen with people who take StarCraft more in the backseat, and that really helped him out today. Because I do think if he tried to play totally normal, Ugo's +1 melee build surprises him, and there's a bit more of the macro mechanics that we can talk about. That game, another time, they worked out very well. Namshar showing his expertise, his experience, maybe not official ticket to the top 4, but he's putting himself there anyway. Knocking Uko out of that spot. So we'll talk about that and more StarCraft on the way, guys.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
victory snatched by Namshar, but it is a hard-fought victory there as I'm now joined by Wardy and Zombie Grub. And Zombie Grub, that was certainly a hectic turning, especially game number 3. Like, I feel like some of the other games, a little bit more one-sided, but like game number 3 really kind of went off the rails.
A little bit, you know, in a way that mutas kind of do a lot, though, so I didn't consider all that weird. I was kind of left leaving the entire best of 3, though, just kind of like, I don't know if it was either one of their bests. You know, like the first game indeed was very not great mechanically. I don't know how to put that nicer. But yeah, you get what I'm putting down. So I was kind of just like, you know, this is when we're supposed to put it all on the line. You're supposed to be feeling your freshest, playing your absolute best. And I think for Uko, he was playing pretty well mechanically, but then maybe got locked in a little bit strategically on a kind of idea of how it was going to go. And that might be where, you know, experience would have shined instead. He would have been able to move thoughts around and figure out X, Y, or Z could happen. Because Namshar going for just the timing attacks after the first unsuccessful macro game was perfect to do in the best of, right?
Well, I think that's a great summary of that series. So let's go ahead and move on for our next series of the day. We're going to be heading into the next NA match, and this is going to be, in my opinion, I think a really, really fun one as we aim high for the best match possible. It's going to be Trigger versus Vindicta. Gordy, I think this could actually end up being a pretty even match, even though I think Trigger has been performing a little bit better lately during Vindicta.
Yeah, well, Trigger is the one that has all the hype behind him in terms of, you know, we've been talking about him breaking into top 4. He's been building up. He's been having some good events. He's been qualifying for the offline stuff as well. The boy, have I cast some awesome Vindicta games lately. He's been really, really fun to watch. I think he's playing some of the best SC2 he's played in a long time. So, yeah, actually, you know, if you asked me like a month, maybe, yeah, I actually think even a month ago, I'd say, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just a Trigger series, right, guys? But actually, you know, the last month I've seen a lot of good Vindicta games, and that gets me very excited for. I think 3 maps of StarCraft, maybe Trigger's still favored, but I reckon Vindicta can at least bring it to you more.
Yeah, and Zombie Grub, I feel like this is also a cool match because it's one of the rare situations where both players in North America are actually full-time, and both of them are actually kind of popping off a little bit more this year, which is pretty exciting. It makes it a fun and interesting match for the region.
That is pretty cool. It is kind of hard to track exactly who is designating themselves as full-time, but yeah, Trigger and Vindicta both doing so. That is cool. I do think that Trigger has gotten more success, though. Like, they might still both be onwards and upwards as far as the past 2 years, but Trigger has just, you know, really put his foot on the gas, whereas Vindicta is kind of on the more slow grind, and that is... I think like the group actually kind of says that, right? Like Vindicta's been on the slow ground, so he's doing well, top 4, but Trigger just a step above, and then in their history together as well, I think it's also seen there. Trigger has won the last 5 times they have met, and overall this is a very good win record against Vindicta. So yeah, both of them on the up and up, but Trigger I think is definitely the favorite.
I think that's going to be a common sentiment. And of course, let us know in the chat who you think is going to be favored in this. Do you think that Vindicta is going to be able to take home the Vin? Or is Trigger going to be able to prevent the trying attempts of Vindicta? Vote in the chat. You know what the hashtags are. We'll see you guys after the break for PVT.
Welcome back, everyone. We're getting into Trigger versus Vindicta, not Trigger versus NOBSB. That threw me off for a second. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss. And we were almost ready to go.
Me and you had the same thought. We're like, this is fine until we realize that we do actually need to swap the players around in the lobby. Otherwise, we will not have the matchup we're looking for. So, yes, just wait on that.
Yep.
And, yeah. Otherwise, it'll be good to rumble. Yeah, I actually really, I mean, Twitch chat think this one is exciting and close. I obviously feel the same way. If it's 7:43, I would have said like 60-40, honestly, but. Yeah, and we even have a cat on the stream. I mean, it just gets better and better. Awesome TVP, cats. Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Great TVP. I think it'll be fun, just because Vindicta, I think, gives fun games. Trigger as well, actually. But I'm thinking, like, the matchup, maybe having the aggression from the Terran in the mid-game.
Need help? Be careful. Can I assist you? Till next we meet.